Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today I'm here to look at the new 2017 Martin Firecat M4. The M4 has a symmetrical cam system, so it has a yoke on the back and a yoke on the front. The purpose of this is to stop this cam leaning. When a cam leans, basically you get left and right arrow tears. So by having a twin yoke system, you should eliminate left to right tears. Now there's been other bows to have twin yokes before. Kind of a little bit different because they tend to harness them off the end of the limbs. The bows which have done it before, like Oklahoma, OK Archery, I'm thinking Oklahoma, but OK Archery do a twin yoke. Now the problem with that system, hanging off the thing here, it tends to hit your arm. So with this system here, which is unique to Martin, it's got the advantage of the twin yoke, but where your arm is, it's only a single string. So basically you're not going to get the arrow hitting your arm. It has string stops up the top for both cables to hit. The draw length is adjusted through modules. So basically it's a twin module, one on this side and one on that side, and the screws are there. Now to change these modules you need a bow press. Now normally you don't need a bow press to change modules, but you'll see with this module here that the string is actually attached to the module. So to change the draw length you're going to require a bow press. So something like a Bowmaster bow press with the adapters will be fine because these limbs are not beyond parallel. So you'll need to change draw length and Bowmaster bow press or to take it to an archery shop. And you'll need to purchase modules. So when I ordered this bow, I ordered 29 inches at £60, which is on the tag 29.60, and it was put together by Brandon Jones and tested by someone else. Now the problem when you often buy a bow is the draw length isn't going to be right. Now I'm 28.5 and I did the bow test on the Martin Firecat Kestrel last week, and so I was really looking forward to doing this one because I really like this cam system. And last time when I did the bow test on the Kestrel, I had an issue with draw length. In fact, I rang Martin with the draw length issue and I said, look, it came set at like 27 inches and the maximum I could get out of it was 30. Like, what's going on? This should come out of the factory at 29. Now what Scott said to me, he said, our testing shows that most people are around 28 inches in draw length. Is that not what you're finding? I said, no, most people are 29 or 28.5. In fact, I sell as many 30-inch bows as I do 28. So I don't know if it's just Australia, but 29 tends to be a standard. And he said, no, he said the draw length's fine, which got me to then think about this bow. This bow is 29 inches, so let's check the draw length. So what I'm suggesting is maybe I'm a twit. Okay, so there's the draw length right there. I don't know if you can see it. Now I'm going to draw it back and I'm hoping you can see it. So I'm going to draw this back to full position and never draw back a bow with your fingers, but I'm hoping you can see the draw length. The draw length at the front of the bow with the arrow is 28 inches. Now out of the factory, 2 people tested this bow at 29 inches and it's 28 inches. To me, it's such a concern. And I say a concern, it doesn't affect the way the bow shoots or anything like that. But as a dealer buying the bow or as a customer buying the bow, when you order 28 inches, you expect the bow to be 28 inches. And when it comes in at, let's say, 27 inches, you have a problem because then you need to buy the modules and you need a bow press to fix it. So to me, a huge issue. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but with all the rest of the bows in my shop, the draw length, it tends to be to the front of the bow. So anyway, so I've set up the bow with the D-loop, arrow rest and sight, which we're now going to test. And like I said, I'm 28.5. So this bow should physically be short for me, and you should also lose a bit of speed because all the other bows I test are at 29 inches. Now, I also mentioned about the grip on the last one. Now, Martin have always used this curved grip here, where other companies are straight. Now, the reason why they've used this grip, because I spoke to Scott about that, I said, look, I didn't find it that comfortable. And he said, but we've used this grip forever. And I said, yeah, and I was happy with the grip before, but I'm not happy now. Now, in the old grips, this was, Martin had padded this out with like a padding, like leather or something like that, and I found that quite comfortable. But with the new curved grip, it's always been the same, it's always been curved here. The reason they do that is because it fits in your palm there. And you can see your hand is not straight, it's actually curved. So the reason they do it is for your hand. And he said, oh, that was designed by our engineers to be like that. And I said, well, you should fire engineers. Bit of a thing. I mean, they actually had fired their engineer, or the engineer had left. But to me, you've got to get people to try the stuff and get their opinions and honest opinions on how you find the bow. Now, I've shot this grip for many years, this curved grip, and I've never had an issue with it. In fact, I found it really comfortable. But the last time I shot the Firecat without the padding, I found it didn't feel as steady for me as I would like. So what else? I don't know. Okay, bit about the Firecat. Now, Martin's view on this bow is this is their top of the line bow. Price point in Australian dollars is about $1,100. And Martin would say, well, that's cheaper than the top of the line PSEs, top of the line Hoyts, top of the line Matthews, top of the line anything. They're physically cheaper. And you've got to say to yourself, well, is this a similar bow to the other companies at their top end line? Now, the limbs are the same as the other bow companies. This is Gordon Glass compression limb. This cam system's pretty cool. Machine limb pockets, which at this price point is pretty standard. So I take what Martin says about the price point of this bow being lower than other companies for what they're offering. However, I'd still like the bow a bit cheaper. But that's up to you and up to the customers to decide whether this is going to be successful at this price or not. I do like this cam system because it is unique. It reminds me of the Prime system, which has the twin wheels. I think this is I'm going to say it's a better cam system than the Prime. Twin cams. The issue with the twin cam, as in two of these things running down and then joining it up, is you're adding more weight to the cam, so you're physically making the bow slower. So to me, while I like bows that are adjustable in draw length with modules, so that way I can just change it, I don't need a bow press, I do like the twin yoke system. So, and the fact is that the twin yoke system was introduced by Martin in 2016, so it only exists on a couple of bows, and I think it's kind of unique, and to me it's one of those things in archery progression when things progress. And I'm not saying this cam system's going to be a progression for all cams in the future, but it's just one of those things when bows are made, it's unique. And I like uniqueness. Uniqueness in archery is a cool thing. It's just not copied. They've designed it, they've thought about it, and they've come up with a solution. And I acknowledge that, and I think it's cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to shoot this through a chronograph and see what sort of speed we get compared to the last Firecat. Now bear in mind this is 28 inches. The other Firecat was 29 inches, same poundage, 60 pounds. And we'll see what we'll get. Oh, the other things I like about this, it's got the limb pockets here. But overall, machine thing, it comes in two colors, this black finish and a camo. It's some sort of, I think, Krypton camo. It's a weird browny color. So we'll take this outside now and have a shot, see how it draws, and then we're going to take it to 18 meters and see how I shoot at 18 meters with the bow. Thank you. Okay, so we're out here to test the Martin Firecat M4 cam system. I think the IBO on this is 320, so we'd be expecting under 300 feet per second. Somewhere close to that, but this is 28 inches where I think it should be 29. So I may give up a little bit more speed on that. So even like 280 wouldn't even surprise me. So first off, I'm going to describe the draw cycle of this bow. So 60 pounds. So there it's solid. Actually, all of this weight, it feels, I say easy. It doesn't feel that hard. Some bows at the start feel pretty hard. And from my recollection, the Firecat Kestrel felt pretty hard at this stage. So there, it feels like almost the same sort of poundage. It's smooth. Yeah, it's easy enough. So there. Still, now here it feels like it's about to lose poundage. It's losing. Now I'm hit the wall. So there, it's a very easy draw cycle. Now, why is it easy? Big cams, big round wheels. Big round wheels are always going to make this thing smooth and easy to draw back. One of the better cam designs. The wheels, the string here fits well inside this groove. Now that's going to reduce the chances of someone derailing the bow. So a good cam system, they put a bit of time into it. I'm relatively happy with that sort of system. What we're going to do, we're going to shoot through the chronograph now and see what sort of speed we get. And I shoot gold tip velocity 400s. I use the same arrow in all my tests. So like I said, I'd be expecting, well, 300 would be extraordinary, because that's what I got out of the smoke, because this is a much easier bow to draw back. .280. Now, 280. If it was 29 inches, like the tag says, and you can tell me I'm wrong in my measurement of 29, it'd be probably closer to 290. So the Kestrel cam system is definitely faster than the symmetrical cam system, but this is a much easier cam to draw. Like, it's really easy. Where the Kestrel I found, and I really like the old Ghost system, and it's the same cam, the Ghost and the Kestrel. I really like that cam system, but this time it felt harder to draw. This is an easy draw cycle. Honestly, it feels like 50. .282. So it feels like 50. So what I'm going to do before I take it in the shooting range is I'm going to just check it on the bow scale to make sure it is 60, because it certainly feels like 50. The limbs are marked here, number 65. Now that bears no resemblance to the poundage whatsoever, but this is a very easy bow to draw back, like extremely easy, really nice. So as far as bows I've drawn back, which are nice, you know, the PSE Beast, really nice, big cams. This is right there. This is really nice. So the draw cycle's easy, it doesn't lump over, it's just smooth all the way through. So they made a very smooth, easy shooting bow. Now what would be really nice when Martin produced this bow, you can see it's got number 5 modules on it. It'd be nice to have a chart to say 5 refers to 28 inches or 6 is 28.5, whatever it is. It'd be nice if that came out in the manual, but it didn't come out. Also there's a little spot here for a lower mount stabilizer. So I'm going to take this inside now, put on the bow scales just to check. Also the limbs, Gordon Glass, these have got little reinforcing things here. It's meant to make the limb twice as strong. But when you dry fire the bow, this bow is meant to have been tested for, I think, 5 or 6 dry fires. So we're going to take it inside now and shoot 18 meters with it and see how well it groups at 18. But I'm also going to put it on the bow scale and just let you know what actual poundage this bow is, because it just seems too easy. Okay, so I'm here to shoot 18 meters with the Firecatl Symmetry. Now I did take it in and weigh the bow poundage, and it is 60 pound. And the thing I noticed with the scales is as I'm drawing, it's like 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm like, is this going to get to 60? It hit 60, and it was 60.09. It hit 60 right before it started to just drop down into the valley. So it was a gradual build up and then a gradual build down. And so when I said this is the easiest bow I've shot, it's because for most of the draw cycle, it's drawing 50 pounds. as a result, I'm not getting the speed that I got out of the hybrid cam system, the Kestrel cams. So this cam system is giving up 20 feet per second. And it's not really 20 feet because, once again, I said I'm losing 1 inch in draw length because this bow is actually 28. Well, in my opinion, it's 28. And the other bow I tested was 29. So I'm giving up 1 inch of power, basically. But easy bow to shoot. So let's go and see what the groups are like. Now the bow itself doesn't have a lot of vibration when you shoot it. It's relatively quiet. I commented on the grip last time. The grip feels better. And sometimes with bows it just takes a while to shoot the bow. I'm shooting a PSC recurve at the moment, the X Appeal. And when I did the review I really didn't know about it, and I've been shooting it now for 3 months. I'm really liking it. So part of it is when you shoot a bow, you've got to just take everything into consideration. This grip, I'd still pat it out because I think it feels more comfortable. It aims easy, so it is, the bow's light, so it's 4-pound bow, spec'd at 3.8, so the published weight of this bow is 3.8. I weighed it at 4, which is a light bow, so I am going to get a bit of movement when I'm aiming, but it feels comfortable, it feels easy. And my pin, just in comparison, when I'm aiming the pin, my pin's blurred, but my pin's basically bouncing around the 10. It's pretty stable. But the draw cycle on this bow and to shoot, like it's as good as any bow I've drawn as far as easy to shoot. The Matthews Chill series is a very easy cam. It's a big cam, but I think the valley is more significant in the Chill. I think the let-off is more significant in the Chill. So with the Chill, when I'm actually aiming the Chill, I feel like I don't have much of a valley. Well, not much of a valley. I feel like I'm not holding much poundage, so I tend to flop around a bit. This feels really nice all the way through the draws system. So I am getting a little bit of that in the shot, after the shot, but it's pretty minor. It's the weight, I really like the weight, if I haven't already said that. To me, the 4 pounds for a hunting bow is an ideal weight. It's not too heavy, not too light. And I don't know if you can have too light because you can always add weight to it, so. Move the camera behind. So overall, I'm really liking this bow much more than I like the Kestrel, which is interesting because I considered the Kestrel cams one of the best cams made. 20 feet per second though, I don't know. And that's part of when you choose a bow, you've got to go, do I want the one which is easy to shoot, easy to draw, easy to aim, or do I want the one which is faster? In fact, I had a customer on one of the reviews, they said, I've got a Bowtech destroyer and there's a Martin lithium LTD for sale, which is basically Kestrel cams. He said, shall I trade it in? It's an old bow. The destroyer's a 350 feet per second bow. The lithium's not that fast, probably around this sort of speed. Now it always gets back to personal preference. If you want a fast bow or you want an easy to shoot bow. I've got a full throttle, which is a fast bow. I don't use it that much. I prefer the nice, easy to shoot bows. But I do like the fast. I do like the fast bow, but I do prefer easy to shoot. I just shoot one more. Sorry, I didn't keep count of how many arrows I shoot. I normally shoot 6. But overall, I really like the draw cycle. The weight's good. The grip, like I said, I put padding on. I think it'd probably take me a while to get used to the hand placement on the grip. But overall, it's pretty good. Okay, let's take these down and see how this shot. Okay, so we're up here at the target. Now, when I sight my bow in, I basically shoot 3 arrows before I shoot. So I know it's in the target because I'm more interested in the groups. Now my arrows roll inside the target. Now I can't get my fingers all around the arrows to start with. I've got 2 arrows touching. Those 2 are no, sorry, I shot 7 arrows. No, I didn't. I shot more than that. 2, 4, 5. Now the top 5 arrows are that far apart. Honestly, they're like ultra close. Then I've got another 3 arrows, and they're touching down there. Now, is that a good group? It's a pretty consistent group. Now I'm getting a bit of height difference, so the difference in height between my groups is that much. So this is an 18 meter target, so it's about a high 9 to a low 9 in height variance. Left and right is actually not too bad. It's like a slight angle down. Now this is me. It's my shooting causing this. Now the reason I'm getting this, and I know exactly why I'm doing it, is because of the grip. I'm altering my grip position from low to high. I'm like, do I hill here or do I hold it up high? And that's what's giving me my inconsistencies in here. But overall, it's a pretty good group. Like if you went down to a target range with this bow with a 3-pin hunting sight, no peep sight, no stabilizer, and you shot that group, you're going to be pretty happy. And you're going to beat most of the people at the target club. So overall, I'm really happy with the symmetric cam system. I really like the cam system. I like the draw cycle. The camo finish, the black camo I like, but I like the option of Martin to have various camos if you're hydro drip dipping. I would like Martin to have different colors and cams and limb pockets, but it's not available, but that's what I'd like. Now if you had those options, I'd buy one. Because I like the draw cycle, it's unique. There's no other bow on the market like it. It's different to a bow I've owned before. The weight's good, 33 inches axle is good. Speed's not so good, but it's an easy draw cycle, so I'm giving up 20 feet per second, but just for recreational shooting, for just shooting arrows in my backyard, I don't care about 20 feet per second. So, but for competition, would I care about 20 feet per second? I don't know. Now the other thing is when a bow's slower, you can actually shoot lighter arrows. So you can basically increase your speed through shooting a lighter arrow. So a bow like the full throttle, which is really, really fast, you need to shoot a slightly stiffer arrow out of it. So you're going to lose some speed there. But overall, the Firecat, I think if it had the little grip there, I wouldn't have been having that concern with the grip that I had last time with the Kestrel. But overall, I really like this bow. I really like it. More so, as far as this versus the Kestrel, I prefer this one much more. I don't like they're changing the draw length, because I think that's just an absolute pain for most people. But for me, as a bow to like, really like this bow. So overall, now the negative points, Martin don't allow a two-piece quiver to be fitted anymore. I do like two-piece quivers, although there's not many two-piece quivers available these days, but there's not one for this bow. You can't fit one now. But besides that, I don't know, I really like this bow. It's funny, I just like the draw cycle, it's easy. Just a comfortable bow to shoot. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. It probably hasn't answered any questions, but it gets back to whether you want a bow which is comfortable to shoot, easy to shoot, adjustable, fast. This is, as far as comfort, 10 out of 10 to shoot. Adjustability, because of the draw length, is probably a 5 out of 10. The noise is probably an 8 out of 10. Vibration is probably an 8 out of 10. Have I felt better? Maybe. It's in the better bows I've felt as far as shock and vibration. But it's not producing the speed as well. So bows with more speed should have more shock. But overall, it's pretty good. I like this bow. I wouldn't be surprised if I see myself shooting this bow as a 3D hunting recreational bow. I like it that much. I really like the yoke system. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. I hope this has been informative for you and hope it's helped you. The more arrows you shoot, the better you'll shoot. Don't overshoot, because you'll hurt yourself. I shoot with 2 people and 2 of them are injured just through excessive shooting. And my body through shooting often hurts and is often in pain. So you've got to shoot so much where your scores go up, but not too much that your body's in pain and you need to rest. So, but the more you shoot, the better scores you'll shoot. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye.